I'll be talking about pinworms, what they are, how to prevent them, and how to find them. But first, an overview about pinworms.
Pinworms have the most efficient life cycle of all the parasites that infest the horse. They have developed a means of reproduction by which the eggs don't leave the herd of horses and they don't migrate through any organ tissue. While the horse is relaxed or sleeping, the female pinworms crawl out of the horse's rectum, deposit eggs on the perineal region of the horse with a sticky substance, and crawl back into the rectum. Infective pinworm eggs are ingested orally, and once in the colon, the larvae develop through various stages before becoming sexually mature in about 5 months. As horses migrate, they take the eggs and adults along with them. Fortunately, the only damage the pinworms cause is an itching of the tailhead. This is of course an annoyance to the horse and owner, but it doesn't threaten the horse's life. Because pinworms spend their entire lives in the lumen of the intestine and don't migrate, they cause very little physical damage to the horse. Therefore, horses can have massive pinworm infections without exhibiting significant health problems.
Here's some more about pinworms. What are pinworms? Pinworms are 1 1/3 inch long thin worms found in the large intestine and anus of horses. The worms mate, then the female crawls out of the anus while the horse is sleeping and lays eggs. Pinworms can cause no damage to the horse other than irritation of the eggs. Here's some pictures of pinworms. The top picture is a picture of pinworm eggs. The bottom picture is a picture of adult pinworms. What are symptoms of pinworms? Broken hair and skin near the hind end, rubbing tail against stall and post, irritation around anus, and licking and biting of the hindquarters. Here's a picture of what the irritation from pinworms may look like. How to prevent pinworms. Dewormers prevent pinworms. Dewormers work by killing the pinworms before they become adults and reproduce. The worms that are already adults will die naturally, and none of the babies will grow enough to reproduce before they die. Types of dewormers. There are 4 types of dewormers that are used for pinworms: pyrantel, ivermectin, moxidectin, and fenbendazole. How should I use dewormers? Dewormers should be administered by mouth every 8 to 12 weeks. Dewormers should be used on a rotating schedule. Rotating between types of dewormers, drug not brand, prevents the worms from becoming immune to the drug. When deciding which drugs to rotate between, you should look at the drug name, not the brand name. Multiple brands can have the same drug type, but be different brands. How do you know if your horse has pinworms? How do horses get pinworms? Horses get pinworms from other horses. One horse will rub against something and the eggs will fall on the ground. Another horse will eat the grass that is in the area where the worm larvae lay. They also come from grooming each other. If the larvae are not stage 3, the larvae will not mature any farther and will not affect the horse. If the worm is in L3 stage, it will continue to mature as it travels down to the large intestine. After 5 months, it is an adult and will live in the large intestine and reproduce. When the worm dies, it is then passed in the feces. How are pinworms tested for? Pinworms do not lay eggs in the feces like most intestinal parasites. This makes a fecal flow unable to test for pinworms. The only way to know if your horse has pinworms is to look for physical signs of the worms. You can also look for the presence of eggs near the anus. If the horse is already on a dewormer, dead worms may be present in the feces. Places pinworms are found. Pinworms are found in the field of horses that are affected. The worms will be located on the ground and on posts the horses have been scratching against. Worm eggs can be found attached to the hair near the anus in a white sticky substance. This is the information that may be useful in determining whether your horse has pinworms and how to prevent your horse from getting pinworms in the future.